Sponsored by Business Northwest Exhibition and Conference.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Business News. Joining me today we have Patrick Prinsloo from the Manchester Chamber of Commerce. Good afternoon, Patrick.
Good afternoon, Richard.
Some interesting news today in the media about businesses failing across the country, which is a stark contrast to some of the news we had last week. One of the UK's leading leading restructuring firms has actually issued a report which would suggest that there's 134,000 businesses showing signs of distress, of all things, which could possibly lead to failure. Now, in my eyes, failure would mean going bankrupt, but I think you have a different opinion on this. Is that right, Patrick?
Well, we don't like to use the word failure. I mean, failure would suggest a weakness, not doing the job properly, whereas businesses work very hard and get it right most of the time. And they can get it right and still be experiencing tremendous distress. We've just completed a survey, our quarterly economic survey, and in the Greater Manchester area, businesses are cautiously optimistic about the next 12 months.
Define cautiously optimistic for me. When I hear that expression a lot in times of recession, but what exactly does cautiously optimistic mean?
Well, first of all, it suggests that they've been thinking very carefully about the next 12 months, and they're assuming they're not going to just take off again. They're going to manage their cash flow. They're going to keep their stocks low, because they don't want to borrow lots of money to improve their stock situation and then find that things dip again. So they're cautious, they're optimistic, they're very careful.
The emphasis being on the word cautious, of course.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, two of the sectors that were highlighted in the report today were recruitment and engineering. In terms of membership of the local Chamber of Commerce, for example, what kind of scale are we looking at here in Manchester? Is this going to be something that is particularly going to affect the region, or is this something that's more broadly seen across the UK?
It doesn't affect the region more than the rest of the UK. I mean, we're sort of very much in line with the rest of the UK. Recruitment is a problem, and we can sort of equate that to the rise in unemployment. Manufacturing is having a hard time. And yet, in this quarterly economic survey I've just mentioned, the manufacturers are saying they saw an increase in sales orders in the last quarter. Whether that applies to the whole, all the sectors or the whole of the country, I can't say.
Splendid. Now, one firm in the news today that's not suffering any effects of the recession, it would seem, is good old Apple. They've seen an increase of 54% in their profits in the last year. They've sold over 7.4 million iPhones, which is attributed to some of the success that they're seeing, and have also taken quite a big chunk out of Microsoft's market. How is it possible that a company that specialises in selling luxury items can see such a big increase during a recession?
Yeah, well, we haven't seen the Christmas sales yet, and they're going to go up. Apple's going to make even more money.
Should Microsoft be worried at this stage?
Sure. I think everybody looks at their competitors, and they all box clever. I think Microsoft is smart, and you know, they'll manage these things. Yeah. Maybe in 5 years' time, you know, both Apple and Microsoft will be things of the past. There'll be new players, but
I doubt that very much. I'm sure Bill Gates might be coming out of retirement very shortly. Now, talking of big firms and local issues and things, the guys were talking earlier on about the problems that new fathers are having within the workplace. It seems that over the last 20 so years we've seen women fighting for equal rights and paid conditions within the workplace, but now all of a sudden we're seeing the fathers jumping on the bandwagon looking for extra maternity leave and pay. Is this something that's going to present a problem during a time of recession, or is this something that we don't need to worry about? Is it a flash in the pan, for example?
I think it's something that's going to be with us for a while. There's this drive to improve the leisure-work balance in life. And fathers do want to sort of spend more time with their children. You know, this is sort of like a slow trend in the social.
Does the Chamber of Commerce have any prevalent members that are particularly good in this area in the region where fathers are taken care of?
We do know that the good employers are thinking very favourably of this, and they are negotiating with their
That's lovely, Patrick. Thank you very much for joining us today. That's all from the Business News. Joe will be here after the break with the latest sport news.
Sponsored by Business Northwest Exhibition and Conference.